Designers and Builders, where design meets construction. We explore groundbreaking trends and talk to the pros reshaping our spaces. For your dream home, workspace, or just great design inspiration, subscribe to Designers and Builders. Hey, so welcome to a brand new episode of the Designers and Builders podcast. I'm your host, Steve Larosiliere, and I want to introduce our co-host, Alyssa Olson. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Steve?
Good. So I met Alyssa about a year ago. And Alyssa is a woodworker, an architect, landscape architect who's done some really cool, amazing projects. And so as some of you may know that I host other podcasts and I have another agency. And so one of the things that Alyssa wanted to grow her wood furniture side of her business, of her life and her career. And I don't know, I had this idea. I was like, she's this really talented designer. I thought, wouldn't it be great if she like built her own platform? And so sort of lo and behold, life gets in the way of many plans in our life. And one of the things that I thought about as I started to build out this podcast and this idea of designers and builders, as I started to go down this path, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I collaborated with Alyssa in order to help launch it? And so welcome, Alyssa. I'm excited that you're going to be the co-host of this.
I'm excited as well. Thanks, Steve.
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Like, how did you get to the path of being an architect, landscape architect?
For sure. It's something ever since I was a kid, I was interested in making things, building things, designing. And throughout college, I pursued an architecture degree. And while I was there, I stumbled upon landscape architecture, as many landscape architects do. And I had the opportunity to go to grad school and pursue a dual degree, so a dual master's in architecture and landscape architecture. And I've been fortunate enough to find a few jobs along my career path at integrated design firms that have allowed me to do both. And subsequently, also after moving to California after grad school, my first office was across the street in Sausalito from this giant wooden educational tall ship that sails kids around the world to teach them about the environment. And the one piece of furniture I didn't have was a desk. So I made my first live edge table out of reclaimed redwood, fell in love with reclaimed redwood, and have also been a woodworker for the past 10 plus years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What, tell us about some of the projects that you've gotten to work on in your career from, tell everybody about that.
Yeah, so wide variety, working at all scales, anything from custom site furnishings, both interior, small scale in someone's home, to exterior in courtyards, larger park spaces. I've done projects all over the US, some internationally. I've done currently a lot of housing, so multifamily, affordable, creative workplace, tech, urban placemaking, plazas, all sorts of things in cities and other sorts of communities.
That's really cool. What excites you about the field as it relates to the types of conversations that we're looking to have on this podcast?
So many exciting things. And every year it seems to be unfolding more and more. All of the things that we're folding into the profession, lower carbon, more resilient communities and environments, all those sorts of large picture things.
Yeah.
Also responsible material sourcing, but also working at large scales that have a large impact, but also at the small scale of the human experience and making design accessible for all people.
What does design mean?
To me, it means I think everybody deserves to have access to things that are well designed, well built, will stand the test of time and last, and have really great material quality, and also connect them to the place they're in. That's something that I really love about reclaimed wood, and that I've been trying to kind of bridge my worlds of landscape architecture and fabrication the past handful of years, is to really find materials that are rooted in a place and use creative ways to use them and incorporate them into site furnishings and such.
That's awesome. When you think about the future of the space aside from accessibility, like what do you envision your work looking like in the next couple of years?
That's a question that I think about often. I see myself expanding my personal realm of impact. I've been so fortunate to have been connected to you and to the Woodpreneur network and seeing the amazing things that people are already leaders in the field. And I'm starting to see potentials of ways to connect landscape architects to those people who can source wood and things like that. So I think really expanding the scope and scale of work, but in ways that make people's lives easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think what excites me honestly about this journey that we're on is that we get to have conversations with people that are really doing really cool big things, making an impact on their community. I really want to get into the mind of some of these, some of your peers, like the people that like what's their thought process, what's their design process, like how do they approach like large scale community designs? Because I think, it's kind of no secret to you that like I want to be able to understand and unlock those things so that we can grow this space even more. And so, yeah, that's to me is really, really exciting. If you had anybody that was on your wish list of people to interview, who would it be? Top three, top five. What do you think?
So many people. I think top of mind, as we were just talking about this upcoming landscape architecture conference this year, for sure, Meg Hawkins, I think is an excellent leader in the material world. She's always really fun to hear speak, has a lot of depth of knowledge. I think, I don't know, a lot of people, it's really hard to boil down a single
Yeah.
list, to be fair.
What's the guy with the big the guy in New York, the big
Jim Corner,
Jim Corner.
I feel that.
Yeah. Let's get him.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get him.
Let's get him.
Yeah, guys.
Who else?
Who else? Oh, I mean, Bay Area, we could say Pete Walker.
Hmm.
We could say Ken Smith. He also has roots in the Midwest. That's always fun. Julie Bargman comes to mind. I'm just think there's so many.
Yeah.
It's really hard to boil it down. I think any Cindy or Lori from Olin would be great.
Cool. Very cool. Um, are you working on any cool projects right now that are really exciting?
I am. Yeah, I'm working on a ton of affordable housing projects. One in particular up in Sonoma. We are using reclaimed wood. I have a wood guy up there, and we're using reclaimed wood from his mill. Everything's milled within 100 miles of the site, fallen and milled, all reclaimed. So that'll be really fun to have some custom elements out on this large site. Yeah, we have a project under construction. I just had a custom picnic table and benches that were built that I just had the opportunity to see 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
So really fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Is there anything that you're looking to sort of learn or aha moments that you'd like to pick people's brains about, you think? Like in terms of through the podcast, like some of these people, like, is there like, because I know for me, like, I really want to understand the design processes into, especially large scale projects and how they integrate, with future planning. And like, that feels like a very, like the research process before you start designing, that interests me a lot. Like, is there something that you're interested in learning a lot more of?
I'm definitely interested in other people who have used reclaimed materials on sites, but also in general, because every firm operates differently, everyone has a different design process. I think opening up those communication channels and learning about others' experiences, benefits, friction, all of the above.
That's awesome. Cool. Um, so everybody go and check out designersandbuilders.co. Sign up for our newsletter mailing list. We'll be sending out weekly newsletters about insights and new podcast interviews. And then eventually the plan is to have our own community and our own events. We'll have meetups at all of the different architecture and design conferences. And we're hoping to make this, I mean, really, if you're into inclusive, diverse design, building community, doing really cool things that we talked about that last 100 years or more, right? Like really, really cool projects, and collaborating. I think that's something that like I'm very interested in, and I know Alyssa is very, very interested in collaborating with people. If you dig a little bit deeper, there's a lot more beyond the podcast that we're looking, but feel free to reach out to us and connect with us on LinkedIn. Steve Larosiliere, Alyssa Olson. We're very accessible on LinkedIn. And yeah, we're excited to keep this going. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Steve.
All right.